have you done research? You must make sure that you have done the research you need to do so you know how to properly care for a hamster. Impulse buying is not good. Let's assume you go into a pet store, you see a super adorable hamster, but you know nothing whatsoever about it. But you decided to buy it because it's so cute. And after you get it, you have nowhere to put it. All you have it is in that plastic cardboard box all the pet stores give you. And then you'll have to go to all the different stores, which normal people wouldn't want to do that. So they'll buy everything from the pet store. And that's not good, because usually the wheels in pet stores or the cages in pet stores are just way too small for any hamster. Next, you must have the proper knowledge to care for a hamster. You have to do your research, as it says in the title. If you don't know anything about hamster, what they eat, what they need, you're not going to be a very good hamster owner, and your hamster probably won't live a good life. And hamsters are not toys for kids. If you're a parent and you're thinking about buying a hamster for your kid, you first need to make sure your kid knows everything a hamster needs. Otherwise, the kid won't know what to do, and you just buy colorful cages. You only care about the cage. You don't care about the poor little hamster inside. They must have proper care, which I will explain more in another video. Hamster behavior. If you have done some proper research, you should also know about hamster behavior. First, chewing on bars. This is not a normal behavior, even though many hamster owners think that just chewing on bars is just your cute little hamster wearing down their teeth. This is not true. When your hamster is chewing on the bars, they're showing signs of stress, mostly because their cage is too small. It's not normal, and if you think this is the case, you might consider upgrading your cage. If you don't have the budget for that, you could upgrade to a bin cage, and those are quite cheap. Next, burrowing. Burrowing is a hamster instinct that they do in the wild. That's why you need lots of bedding for your hamster to burrow. I recommend at least 7 inches in one section. That way your hamster has enough place to burrow. Burrow and digging are not the same. Your hamster is not a dog. They don't just dig into the sand to hide their seed mix. No, they don't do that. They need to burrow to make their burrows, to put their stuff there, and they might spend the whole day in there. That's why it's not good. Next, monkey barring. This isn't normal either. It's basically the same as chewing on bars. If you see your hamster monkey barring, most likely your cage is too small, or you're abusing your hamster, and they're going all over the cage to see if you've left a door open, if there's a crack they can escape out of, and then again, your cage is probably too small. Let me remind you, the bare minimum for hamster cages in US is 450 square inches, but I definitely recommend at least 500. It's the best for your hamster. And the next is teeth chattering. This is a bit different, and I have a few I have not added here, and I will go on it to explain it later. Teeth chattering. There are 2 different types of teeth chattering. The first type could be showing, it depends on the situation, really. If you've just woken up your hamster from sleeping in the middle of the day at noon, and they have a really loud, annoying teeth chatter, it probably means they're upset and they're not happy that you did it. You wouldn't be very happy either if someone woke you up at 1 a.m. in the morning saying, "I want to play with you." No, that wouldn't be very good. But the next kind is if you just fed your hamster a treat, or they're doing something they like free roaming, they might start chattering their teeth very lightly, and that means that they're quite content and happy. The next one I forgot to add that hamsters do quite often is just freezing in place. Freezing in place doesn't mean they're having a horrible flashback or anything like that, or they're going away in their mind, or if they had a brain freeze. No, it doesn't mean that. In fact, freezing in place is quite normal. When hamsters freeze in place, it could mean that they've heard a sound or they've seen something, and their nose is twitching in the air, That means they're trying to get an idea of what's going on. Like if you just put them in a large playpen, they're probably just kind of scared and nervous, but don't worry, they'll be better soon. If there's anything I've missed, please tell me and I'll go over it again in the special video about hamster behavior. Next, what are their basic needs? You need to know that in order to have a hamster. In this picture, there's an IKEA Detolf, of course. As I said before, IKEA Detolf is a great cage. It's large enough and it's quite cheap, $60. What's more worth it? A 400 square inch aquarium for $200 or a 950 square inch cage for only $60. Am I right? So you know what I mean. It needs, as I said, it needs to have a big cage, at least 450 square inches, but I recommend more because about the previous behaviors I talked about, that could happen if your hamster does not have enough space. Next, your hamster needs a properly sized wheel. In this picture, it seems their wheel is quite large. Maybe it could be a bit bigger, but it looks sort of like a rodent wheel, and that's really great for a hamster because those wheels are really good. They're big enough, and your hamster won't bend its back when it's running. Next, enough bedding. You can see in this picture, this person has put in quite a lot of bedding, and I appreciate that. As I said before, your hamster needs a lot of bedding to dig and burrow. There's lots of different kinds of bedding. There's aspen, pine shavings, softwood shavings, paper shavings, but not all of them are good. Anything that's labeled pine, cedar, wood shavings, softwood shavings, those aren't good for your hamsters. Oh, and cotton nesting's another one. Those aren't good either. Because pine and cedar wood shavings or softwood shavings, they can cause respiratory issues in your hamster, and that's not good. And cotton nesting can get wrapped around your hamster and can cut off the blood circulation, and they can suffocate. Next, a proper diet. Lots of people just give the hamster high-protein pellets. Although I'm not saying it's bad for your hamster, it's just not enough variety. It's just like every single day you get fed scrambled eggs 3 meals a day. Some of you may be happy with that, but having it for your whole life, it's just not good for you. That's why you should have a mix of maybe some sprays, herbs, dried insects, seed mix, and pellets. And that way your hamster will have a high variety diet. You could also introduce them to some safe vegetables and fruits. I'll make a video on that later. And introduce it to them very, very slowly so they don't get too stressed or anything. And basically everything they need to survive in captivity. I honestly do think hamsters would be better off in the wild because a lot of people, they don't know the basic hamster needs, like lots of bedding and stuff like that. So just give them like a food dish or just scatter feed their food around their cage. That way they can burn off all their energy by going around looking for scattered seeds. You also must remember to clean their cage. I recommend every other day so the cage doesn't get stinky and there's not pee everywhere, because like pee, it can cause bacteria in your hamster and that's not good. They also need a proper hideout and sand baths. Sand baths can help them remove anything from their fur coat that they don't want, but you shouldn't wash them because that could remove many important minerals from their fur coat. And again, back to hideouts. Hideouts are good in like cork logs and tunnels because it can help your hamster feel safer and they have more things to do. Again, in this IKEA Detolf, it's a great cage And I suggest you set up your cage like that. There's lots of bendy bridges, hideouts, sprays that your hamster can choose from. It's a really great cage. And I'll go more in depth about this in another video I'll be making soon, but if there's any other video that you would like, or you would like more of this video, please comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications, I can't talk today, so you know when I have posted a new video. Thanks again for watching. Bye!